On the call today. I wish I could see all of you. We can't see your faces, and I'm in North Carolina, and Ann is running the show for me with the slides out of New York today. So we're hoping this works for all of us. Today, we want to talk to you and give you an update on the Fabric of Now. It's the platform that we started last year. It's hard to believe it's been a year ago now for advertising and looking at being more intentional with the consumer and meeting her where she is and talking to her about the relevance of cotton and why cotton's not just the fabric of her life throughout her life, but it's literally the fabric of now and today. As we go through this and we talk with you and we share with you, we're going to cover three categories. We've had some questions about target market, so we thought we would take a step back and tell you why are we targeting this consumer. Then we're going to show you some activities that we've been doing with the Fabric of Now platform. And last but not least, we're going to go into other extensions into brand collaborations and what they look like and how we're taking the Fabric of Now all the way through. So let's begin and look at the target market. Our target market is 70% women, 30% men, 18 to 34 years of age, primarily fashion females. This chart is showing you apparel sales in the U.S. market. It's over $400 billion, and about 60% of that is in women's wear. That's why we start to lean in heavily into women. And not just because of the women's wear, but also because we know that women tend to buy most of the purchases for apparel in the household, whether that's men's wear or children's wear and home products. And you can also see the size of the market here for the home area, 65 billion. So it's significantly less than apparel because we get questions about why do you market more apparel than home? But these are some of the key categories and reasons. We also have data that we are able to look at by category of apparel items, such as knit shirts, denim bottoms, socks, and dresses. And we really look at sales of bales, so what's moving, and we try to feature those items in the product promotions and marketing that you'll see. On the next chart, this is one that some of you may be familiar with, but it talks about core drivers for apparel shopping. And these three buckets stay the same regardless of age. However, what's in the bucket can move up or down based on age. This chart that I'm showing you is for our fashion female, 18 to 34, our primary target. And what we know that drives her purchases is fit, style. If it looks good, if it feels good, she's going to buy it. And then you get into secondary items such as durability. How long will it last me? How far will my dollar go? Softness. And then in the third category, we see performance benefits, sustainability, other things that matter in purchases, but it's not what leads her to buy. Now, regardless of the consumer we're targeting, price is always important. And again, it can just move up or down in that first bucket that we have. On the next chart, we start to get into looking at why she buys and why we target her. We know that the fashion female, 18 to 34, for those of you that may have some children or grandchildren in that category or a wife, that she's an active shopper, shops more often than others. She's very influential most of the time in what she talks about and taking this forward to the marketplace and what she's buying. She cares about fashion and versatility. She'll try new styles. She cares about what she puts in her body and on her body, about the ingredients in it. And most importantly, too, we know that she spends 30% more per month on clothing than other consumers. She pays more, an average higher price for natural products. And she is an avid user of social media. So again, helps us amplify the messaging that we're putting out in the marketplace with this new platform. But while we're looking at these activities and things, we know that cotton goes through her throughout her life and throughout her day. So you think about when she gets up in the morning, she wakes up in sheets and pajamas. She goes to work out. She gets ready, goes off to work. It sounds like my day today, but cotton's surrounding her. So in our messaging, we want to make certain that she doesn't forget that she doesn't take it for granted, that it's not just ubiquitous, but that cotton is versatile. It can meet all of her needs, that it's available at, again, a variety of price points, high and low brands, and it'll fit the needs that she has. And when we've met those fundamental needs, though, we see some different movements on the next chart on what's starting to really matter to her in her life. And today we're starting to hear discussions around not wanting artificial ingredients. moving away from those fake ingredients to what is real. And that's not just in the food and what she eats, clean eating for herself, her family, her pets, but also ingredients and detergents and other types of items that she's utilizing across her life. And that gives us an opportunity with cotton. And while she's moving away from fake and towards real, we know that there is just a barrage of misinformation. When she's going out there and trying to understand what is the best product to choose, how do I know this is sustainable or that it is hypoallergenic or the benefits are good, she's looking for a leading resource to help her with that. And it's not just in those categories, it's other things that are in the market we're talking about too, such as microplastics and who can be the authority. And there's no one better than cotton to be that authority with our science-based data that we have. And we're leaning into that in this digital platform of Fabric of Now. So in this last chart I'll go over with you before I hand it over to Anne, this is the structure of how we're looking at the Fabric of Now. And we do begin with awareness. We want to ensure that our target market continues to think about cotton. She sees it's culturally relevant. It's around her. She's surrounded by it, but she's got to be intentional about that purchase. We utilize the seal and the fabric of our lives. Also, the education is exceptionally important here, the benefit messaging, and Anne's going to show you some of that in a moment. And then all of this leads into purchase, searching for cotton, checking the tag, and buying a cotton item. So now I'm going to turn it over to Anne and let her show you some of the activities we've been doing on the platform.
And your microphone's muted.
I was just about to say, I don't think anybody can hear me. Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, but I can't
Wonderful.
see you.
Oh, okay. Well, let's make sure we can see the
Okay, there we
presentation.
go.
Okay. You can see me and the presentation, I hope.
Yes.
All right. Well, good morning. I'm Ann David, the Director of Advertising out of our New York office. We're having a very gray and rainy day here in New York. But what I am here to talk to you about is the Fabric of Now. So this was the platform that we launched in 2024, and our focus was on bringing relevant, stylish, and educational content to our consumer, our fashion female 2.0 that Kim just went over. I did want to call out a few areas where we focused. We were focusing on headlines, putting cotton into culture. We worked with Olympic gymnast Suni Lee. We additionally worked with health and wellness influencers, like Melissa Wood. And the importance of influencers, especially on Melissa Wood, is that they have a very engaged audience of fashion females. Melissa had over 1.2 million followers. And so being able to harness that audience with our message through her is an important part of the media mix. Additionally, we have been deepening Cotton's understanding of sustainability benefits to the consumer. So here we do talk a lot about long-lasting durability. Cotton is a no-waste plant. So we really are talking to her about sustainability in ways that matter to her and her life. I did want to show you some of our tracking. So throughout the year, in addition to media tracking, we also have a brand tracker where we measure such KPIs as checking the label and purchase intent. You can see here, I know this is sort of a busy chart, but what you can see here is that more than 50% of people who saw the campaign were more likely to check the tag than those who didn't see the campaign. Additionally, we saw about a 50% increase on those who saw the campaign versus those who didn't when it came to making purchase decisions. You could, on the flip side, you can also see that those who didn't have very much influence were those who did not see the campaign. Additionally, as I mentioned, influencer content is very important to our media mix last year and this year. And additionally, by using our influencer content, we saw similar results. We saw more than a 50% increase on those who saw the influencer content versus those who didn't when it came to checking the tag. And then a similar result, even a little bit higher, which is wonderful to see, on purchase intent. So again, we are seeing those solid results from folks who have seen either the brand campaign or the influencer content when it comes to our key KPIs of checking the label and then purchase intent. Taking a look, this is our content strategy for the year, another busy slide. So really, again, as we're focused on the fabric of now, we focus in three areas: style, self, and space. And what that means is style is our fashion versatility, space is home, and then self is our health and wellness and sustainability area. As you can see, we are always focused on how cotton fits her life. Under fashion versatility and health and wellness, some of our value propositions and content topics focus around how cotton makes you feel confident, not only in style, but also in what you're putting on your body. Additionally, there's a health and wellness aspect. If it feels good on your skin, there's a hypoallergenic and natural message. And again, cotton has such variety and price point that you really can rock your own style. Additionally, as I mentioned, we do focus on sustainability from a durability, a long lasting, and that there is a recyclable element with our Blue Jeans Go Green program. Again, we do try to keep sustainability in areas where she is most comfortable and familiar with the language. We continually monitor this content mix throughout the year, and so that you may see some of these shifts as we see what is resonating most with her. I did want to briefly touch on our brand assets. Cotton's brand assets of the jingle and the seal are iconic. And so we are going to focus this year on amping up the visibility of these key assets. 44% of our target, that's 18 to 34, are aware or extremely aware of the jingle. That is a solid foundation to continue building this audio asset with them. So this year, and you'll hear a little bit more later on, we'll be focusing on creating additional visibility and additional audio visibility for both the seal and the jingle. I will be taking you through some of the work that we are currently doing for the year. So we have a 15-second video. This is focused on our fashion versatility. So we do talk about versatility as a benefit. So our benefit messaging here is that cotton is the perfect item to pack for your summer travels, as there is so many options. We are currently running along the channels you see here along the bottom, broadcast, and across a variety of streamers. So I'm going to play the video. Do let me know if you cannot hear it. Before I press play, though, I did want to call out one note. You may remember from some of the other work, we are doing sort of an audio device where the beginning of the commercial is just ambient noise. There's no music, there's no talking. That's by design. That is to create sort of a stop the scroll so that the consumer is not being bombarded by additional noise and clutter. It's sort of that moment of calm, moment of quiet, and that really kind of stops the scroll so that they are tuning into what we're sharing. I'm going to go ahead and play this now.
Turning daydreams into days off. The fabric of long weekends. Cotton, the fabric of our lives.
Okay. So additionally, that work is supported by quite literally dozens of other pieces of content across social media and digital partnerships. But I also did want to share our 6-second videos, which primarily run on our social channels, which you see below. So our 6-second videos do a lot of heavy lifting in our benefit messaging. It's a quick little bite of an important benefit message. So one that we're focused on is activewear, and this work is supported by other content that really gets into the benefits of cotton activewear, the breathability, moisture wicking, and again, of course, the variety of style. I'm going to go ahead and play this one. And as these are for social media, we create these for what's called a sound off environment. So you may be familiar, you may be on the bus or other places, and you don't want to have your sound on. So these are intentionally made to be sound off environment so that those who are not listening are still getting all of the information on screen. Our other 6-second video is focused around home. And again, the benefit messaging of cotton sheets and bedding gives you a better night's sleep. All right. And as I mentioned, those pieces are accompanied by dozens and dozens of other pieces of content throughout the media ecosystem. I did want to focus on some of our content pillars for the year. And so one that we are focusing on is Cotton's Roots. So we have been working with what we're calling a farmfluencer. So an influencer who comes from a ranching or farming background, who's telling our cotton story, in addition to our stories of fashion versatility and sustainability, but also sharing our cotton roots story. Additionally, we've been utilizing community management in our key areas of rodeos and other ag events. Again, making sure that cotton is tied to those key ag moments where our consumer is. And then, of course, we support our brand partners like Carhartt with our Blue Jeans Go Green recycling program. If you weren't able to see this, we did work this past season with a rancher. Her name is Natalie Kovarik. She is a wife, a mother, a rancher, and she's exactly our target. She did a really beautiful piece of work for us that focused on cottons and its many benefits. I am going to play it now if you weren't able to see it.
I've decided 2025 is going to be the year I find my way back to intentional sourcing and shopping when it comes to my closet. Think less impulse buying, more quality investments, prioritizing thrifting, and choosing natural fibers that stand the test of time, like cotton. Cotton isn't just a timeless classic. It's practical, sustainable, and comfortable. And unlike synthetic fibers, cotton is breathable, biodegradable, and naturally durable, which means the pieces I invest in will not only feel better, but last longer too. And beyond the fabric itself, you know I also love to support the agricultural industries that produce these fibers. For me, this year is about choosing better, not more. And I love that cotton is playing a small part in that journey.
So in addition to running this work across our media ecosystem, we also did a week targeted around the Houston Rodeo. And so we targeted not only our fashion female, but we widened that target a little bit to 18 to 54 and those folks who are sort of geo-targeted to that area, again, to put our cotton positivity of cotton roots and rancher moment into an audience who may be more likely to see it. I did want to share some of the positive cotton sentiment that we saw on this post. There were over 700 comments, and I'm just going to play a little bit of a scroll here. What I liked so much about the comments we were seeing on this post was that our consumer was actively asking about cotton. Where can I buy it? Oh, I'm only using natural fibers this year. I'm making the switch too. And again, this is just a very small snippet of, again, over 700 comments saying pretty much this. So really exciting and really excited to do more with influencers like Natalie. Additionally, we've got our hard-hitting benefit messaging content additionally throughout the year. You've heard me mention how we talk about sustainability in a relevant way. So we'll be continuing to do that from our brand assets. We've got a couple of content creator series with our influencers. One is a closet clean out, where we'll be working with an influencer as she'll go through her closet, she'll find those synthetic items and talk about what is a cotton replacement for that. Additionally, we'll be doing what we're calling a cotton versus synthetic challenge. And we'll be presenting items of clothing, having the consumer say, which one they think is the synthetic, which one they think is the cotton, and then talking about the differences and the benefits, and that the only way to really know is to check the tag. And then we'll continue our Caring for Cotton series. That has been a very popular series we've been doing this year about stain care. Stains are consistently our #1 organic search item that we see. And so continuing our variety of stain options in laundry care is something we'll be continuing this year. And finally, I did want to touch on some unexpected connection points and shopping opportunities from the advertising department. So this past holiday season in December, we partnered with a perfumery called Diaz and Durga. We created a 100% cotton blanket made here in New York that was a unique holiday item in this very important selling season. Typically, of course, we do not have an item that we highlight in this season. So we had a beautifully price pointed item that we sold via Diaz and Durga, not through cotton ourselves. And what was exciting about this effort was that we saw, by this connection, by this collaboration, we saw over 1 billion impressions. Additionally, we were on some of the must buy for holiday lists, like on Real Simple and Harper's Bazaar. We've never had that before. So in addition to putting cotton in culture, again, we are in these important fashion female magazines and publications. We are also on those must-buy lists. Additionally, we are using something called a pause ad. So if you've been streaming in one of these channels, you might be between shows, you'll get what's called a pause ad. So instead of just a video running, this literally, it will pause and it gives you a moment to, with what we're doing is clicking through on a QR code. So instead of just the commercial playing through, you're able to click through on a QR code that will bring you to a shopping opportunity. We're very excited about this because this is the first time we've been able to do video to shop in this way. So these are just a couple of examples of our unexpected shopping opportunities from the advertising department. I am going to turn it back to Kim to take us through some additional extensions.
Right. Thanks, Anne. Now we're going to look at how we take this into collaborations with brand partnerships. So whether we're working with a mass retailer, take Aeropostale that has 498 stores across the U.S., or more of an online curated boutique such as Revolve that has thousands of different styles of cotton apparel because they can have more inventory online than we can get in store. We're taking the fabric of now theme and messaging and pulling it through. So here are some examples with some creative that was done in these promotions. The first one, the fabric of now, is talking about current trends. Again, that's why this consumer purchases and how cotton is the fabric of now and how it's essential. Then we go into talking about that it's durable, it's versatile, it's stylish. And also the natural, the sustainability of it and how, again, it's the fabric of now and meeting your needs. And we do this throughout all of the brand collaborations and also with our recycling program, Blue Jeans Go Green. And there were comments on the previous slide about purchasing and looking at blue jeans and the opportunity of cotton still being the fabric of now, even though you were recycling. On this slide, what you see are a variety of different brands and partners that we did promotions with in the past year. And these promotions all would have featured the sale of cotton, and most of them would have been benefit messaging. Again, it could have been curated cotton collections where they're purchasing, or it could have been our recycling efforts. So we were working with brands across the gamut, mass to influential. So you're looking at Anthropologie, American Eagle, Carhartt, The Gap, Levi's, and then Ralph Lauren, again, more influential, higher price point. So making certain that consumers understand wherever they're shopping, wherever they're at, to purchase cotton. And that's part of the halo effect of what we're doing with pushing this messaging out. Not only, though, do we work with retailers and brands, we also work with other adjacent partners. And on the next slide, we just wanted to share with you that through the recycling program and Blue Jeans Go Green, we have returned back to college campuses. We have not been there since COVID. This year, we've just started with 2. I know we have several people on the call today from Texas. We are at Texas Tech right now as we talk with the Blue Jeans Go Green program, and also at the University of North Carolina here in Chapel Hill. And I also wanted to bring this up because I went and I was able to brief the students, and we're working at UNC with the business fraternity at Kennan Flagler School, and I was able to brief them and talk with them about not only the recycling program, but about other things surrounding recycling and single use. Right. And that cotton is not single use and the durability of it and the replacement for microplastics, and have a wonderful conversation with these students and get some information on how we're going to work with students going forward as well. So we're looking forward to those opportunities. And on the last chart that we have for you today, we just wanted to take a moment and look at what's coming in the next couple of months. We do have a pop-up store, which will drive shopping coming up at the Kentucky Oaks in Derby. It will be Thursday through Saturday. It is in combination with Love Shack Fancy. It's the first time we have been at the Oaks. We will be reimagining the Fabric of Our Lives jingle, and alluded to that earlier. That'll be the second half of this year with our consumer market. And we are looking at influencer content. We are going to be partnering with the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. We'll be filming with them next week after Easter and going to get in content, not just about fashion, but about benefit messaging. There'll be a tailgate event. We will also be participating with digital ads on streaming on their Netflix show, American Sweetheart, that's in its second season. And that is in combination with Love Shack Fancy as well. And then last but not least, another collaboration that's coming up will be Cotton and Synthetics. Hopefully you can see what's running online now, but it talks about microplastics, laundering, microfibers, and shedding. And we are reimagining that with different creative, and we'll be pushing that off across a variety of assets, whether they're digital, such as podcasts, influencer content, and social media coming up. And that's just to get started. We're only in April, so there's still a lot of bandwidth left this year and things that we'll be doing. But that's a snapshot of what we had prepared with some of the activities that we're doing now in consumer marketing for you. So thank you. And at this time, we can stop and take questions.